An Alabama grand jury has made the recommendation to abolish an entire city's police department. Huh. Wow. In Alabama, no less. Strange. Now, so what happened? Well, and where? Well, Huntsville, Alabama, had some issues with their police department. In fact, about five officers, including the chief of police, were arrested and charged with things like corruption. Uh, now, according to um, one of the law enforcement, this is Coleman County District Attorney Champ Crocker, okay, who said, "quote This is a sad day for law enforcement, but at the same time, it is a good day for the rule of law." Wow. Now, this was after announcing the charges, which included the spouse of one of the officers during a press briefing on Wednesday. So, what exactly happened, though? Well, there's not a ton of details, but I'm going to give you what I have, right? So, now the investigation basically involved the department's evidence room. Okay. Now, this evidence room apparently was not secured at all. And related to that, is the death of a Huntsville dispatcher, 49-year-old Christopher Michael Willingham, who was found dead from a toxic drug combination of fentanyl, gabapentin, diazepam, amphetamine, carisoprodol, and carbamol. That was all, by the way, at work. He died at work. Wow. The grand jury found that Willingham's death was the direct result of Huntsville Police Department's negligence, lack of procedure, general incompetence, and disregard for human life. Jeez. So now that said, none of these officers were, charged with Willingham's death, so they ruled it basically an accident. Okay. Now Crocker pointed at the unfettered access that a lot of people had to this evidence locker, okay, or evidence room. And so, they tied that to the grand jury's finding regarding the dispatcher's death. So, guy gets apparently into the evidence room, does a whole bunch of drugs, and then dies. Yikes. Now, that of course makes sense in the context, this grand jury's finding of them finding out that the Huntsville Police Department had failed to account for, preserve, and maintain evidence, and in doing so failed the crime victims and the public at large, making the evidence unusable. Well, I mean, unusable in the cases, sure, but apparently somebody found a use for them. Now, among those charged are Huntsville Police Chief Jason Shane Marlin, who was charged with failure to report an ethics crime and tampering with physical evidence. Officers Cody Allen Kelso and Jason Scott Wilbanks were charged with computer tampering, and of course tampering with physical evidence as well, conspiracy to commit a controlled substance crime, and use of an official position for personal gain. Damn. Officer William Andrew Shelnut was charged with tampering with physical evidence. Eric Michael Kelso, who was a reserve officer, as well as his wife, Donna Reed Kelso, were charged with unlawful distribution of a controlled substance and conspiracy to unlawfully distribute a controlled substance. The distribution charges are not based on the distribution of anything within the evidence room, and they are accused of distributing certain drugs to other individuals, including some of the other defendants. So basically, this guy was dealing the drugs. He was dealing drugs as a police officer. That actually does not surprise me at all. Okay. I mean, look, let's be honest. Okay. And I know it says that's like, well, they weren't actually using the drugs or distributing the drugs that were in the evidence room. Really? Well, at least one of them was that dispatcher might have been getting the evidence room. But again, how do you know? Because that evidence room, anyone could go into at any time. And then if there's drugs in there, what's to stop them? Nothing. Nothing. So now that said, why am I not surprised by this? I mean, like, what are you talking about? Police dealing drugs? Yeah, this is not the first story that police have been caught dealing drugs. Okay, that they have seized in some cases, right? In other cases, and I remember doing this. I think it was a ProPublica report talking about how police across the country have been basically selling guns. Yeah. So not in this case, as I mentioned, there was nothing about selling guns here, but selling and dealing drugs and probably doing the drugs. Oh, definitely, definitely. Now that said, so with all of this, these 5 police officers. Remember, it's a small town, so the grand jury was like, throw it all away. Like, we're done. Like, corrupt and rotten to the core. Here's what the grand jury said. Quote, they're an ongoing threat to public safety with a rampant culture of corruption that has recently operated as more of a criminal enterprise than a law enforcement agency. Wow. Holy crap. Okay. I mean, how corrupt, openly corrupt do you have to be for a grand jury to be like, you know what? That's it. Gone. Abolished. You are done.
Bing, 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 boom. It's gone.
Now, look, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be police, right? No, of course. Of course not. These police officers will just be coming in from other towns, other jurisdictions, okay? And that's because the police in this town were too corrupt, okay? They were too corrupt to police this area. Now, I wish I could say that I am shocked by this, that I'm surprised that something like this had happened, but I'm not. What I am actually more surprised of is, holy crap, they're actually being held accountable. Whoa. Now that, I did not see coming. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.